through this area right here. This cavity is the thoracic cavity. It's going to go through the thoracic cavity, behind the heart, in between the lungs, and over, under, and through the diaphragm. So here's the diaphragm right here. When it goes through the diaphragm and behind the liver, it's going to come out right here in the stomach. So this is the esophagus, the very last part of it right here, and then it's going to go into the stomach. Here's the rat's stomach right here. Right beyond, this is where you're going to have a lot of breakdown of the food. There's hydrochloric acid in here. The acid is about a pH of 2. This really highly acidic pH is going to break down a lot of the food, and it also aids to, because this is a rat, and the rat's not going to eat things that are FDA approved. So because of that, it's going to find foods that are bad, and this area, the hydrochloric acid, is going to break down those foods and kill the bacteria that are in it that would be harmful to the rat. When the food is broken down enough significantly, then it's going to go into this very first part of the small intestine, and this is the duodenum. In humans, the duodenum is only about 10 inches long. In rats, of course, it's not going to be nearly that long. But this is going to be where the ports are for the liver and the pancreas. You really can't see the pancreas on this rat. Usually it's destroyed pretty easily. But the pancreas and the liver are going to have a port right here that goes into the small intestine at this part, the duodenum. The duodenum is going to come around, and it forms the next part of it, and the next part is the jejunum. The jejunum is most of the length of the small intestine. You can see that the small intestine is held in place by mesentery. This is the mesentery, this little yellowish material. It has a lot of veins and arteries in it, and those are going to be fed by the descending aorta as it goes down. I'll go into that later. The last part of the small intestine is going to be the ileum, and the ileum is going to lead eventually to its end, and it ends right here, and this is going to be the ileocecal junction. This junction goes to the cecum, not ileum to cecum, ileocecal junction. This is the very first part of the large intestine. You're going to have one part of the large intestine that sort of dead ends into nothing. That's going to be the appendix. On the other side of it, this is the cecum. The cecum is going to be the first part of the large intestine. It looks sort of sac-like. And once you go beyond that, then you're going to start going to the part of the large intestine that goes up to below the liver. This is the ascending intestine, the large intestine, ascending colon. It's going to go across. This is the transverse colon. Then it goes down, and as it goes down, this is going to be the descending colon. And you can see here in the descending colon that he has formed some poopies. So the poop's going to come out. It'll go into here, the sigmoid colon. The sigmoid colon. It is indeed. That is a medical term.
Poop?
Yeah. And then it'll come out here. Yes, that's right. Former bolus. And it'll come out here. And as it leaves, it'll go through 2 layers of muscles. One is going to be a muscle that you can control, and one is a muscle that you cannot control. The one that you cannot control is the first one, and it reaches the one that you can control before it exits. When it goes out the anus of the rat does not have this muscle that it can control, so the rat will go anywhere it pleases. It does not have any control. All right, this is a female rat.
So not really where it pleases.
Yeah.
Because it can't control it.
That's right. There you go. Whether it likes it or not, if it's on a hot date, too bad. Okay, here we have the female rat parts, and you can see this would be sort of like the placenta of the human. You can see all the blood vessels here. So each one of these is going to be a baby, so you can see there are several little babies that were in here before she was euthanized. And this is going to be the bifurcated uterus. That means that the uterus is going to go off to the right and off to the left.
Are you allowed to talk that way in a bifurcated?
I always called it the uterine horn. I have since learned it is bifurcated.
Uterine horn is legitimate.
Yes, and it goes from here.
Poop.
I like poop. And then it's going to go into this area right here. I like the word poop. How's that? And then we're going to go to this area here. This would be the vagina. All right. That is the female anatomy. We'll go over here to the male anatomy. Do we have one that's... No, we'll just do this one. All right. Yes, move the phones back and forth and back and forth. All right. This rat was, when he was euthanized, he had one of this area of the outside. This is his testis. The outside area is, this area dropped, this testicle dropped. This one did not. This one is still within the abdominal cavity. So nothing's wrong with this rat. This just means that he is not fully developed, and he would still be able to have little tiny rat babies, and that would not be a problem. This might be the way for his entire life, or this just might be something that's happening because he is an adolescent. So here we have this area. This is the first part of it. This is where spermatogenesis occurs. This is where the sperm actually grow up. Once they have developed all the way through, this is the testis, then they're going to go in the epididymis. The epididymis is right here, and it's this kind of elongated area right here. Comes up, forms the vas deferens. This is the vas deferens that goes around the front of the rat, comes out this way. It's going to go into several different little areas so that it can be, so that the sperm have a way of propelling themselves to the outside of the body. This is a bulbourethral gland. It also has glands that are on either side of the bladder. And I think the bladder's been ruined pretty much in this rat. But those are the prostate glands. It has one on either side of the bladder. And then it's going to go from there to the outside. This is the penis right there. So that is the external and internal anatomy of the male rat. Okay. One of these rats had a really, was it this one? Yes, where we were able to see the blood vessels as they came off the heart. So when you're looking at this, we have these first, here's the heart. Part one, heart. Okay. When we're looking at this, this is going to be the first of the arteries that comes off this right here. So this is the aorta right here. Then this part right here is going to be the very first branch of the aorta. So it comes off here. So this first branch is going to go over to the left. So this is going to be the, tell me again. All I can think is bifurcated.
Brachio.
Brachio, yes.
It's not
Brachioradial.
No. Brachiocephalic.
Brachiocephalic. So it's going to branch. As it branches, it's going to branch into the subclavian and also to the carotid.
Coronary.
Coronary, okay. And then the carotid, those are always confused for me. And then over here, it's going to branch to the other side of the body, and it's going to go into the left carotid. Or coronary, what did that was? Coronary, and then carotid, all right. And then it goes down. When this starts, and this part, it is the aorta. When it starts going down, that is known as the ascending aorta, descending aorta, and the descending aorta is going to be this part back here that we're able to see all the different things that come off it. I think I just broke his spleen off, the poor little fella. Let me see if I can see. Here is the descending aorta right here. It's hard to see any of the different aortic systems that come off this, any of the other arteries, because they are behind the veins. The veins are very prominent. This is the inferior vena cava. This part that goes over here, it's going to go to the kidney, so this is going to be the renal artery. This is the rat's left side, so this will be the left renal artery. You can see the mesentery in this rat, and it's going to have arteries and veins going to it. This bottom part is going to be...
Interruption.
Okay.
I heard very clearly Mrs. Shank say the veins are larger than the arteries. I think she's absolutely correct. What's the adaptive advantage of the veins being larger than the arteries?
Well, the arteries can stretch.
The arteries
Right.
have they have the blood flowing rapidly because of the contraction of the left ventricle, creating pressure in them. So they don't have to be very big. Very much like the supply tube coming into the sink. Right? It's got pressure. What about the drainage pipes? They're much bigger. And it's a good thing, because if they were the same size as these tubes coming in, the friction would stop the movement of the blood altogether. So the arteries are like drain pipes. Vein drain. They're going to have, what do they do a blood drive? They do a vein drain, right?
Yes, they do.
Good. So arteries have higher pressure, and therefore they do not have the adaptive requirement to be larger in diameter. So when you look at the specimen, you got two things to help you. First of all, they dyed the veins blue. In life, you don't find them exactly like that. And secondly, the veins are usually larger, and they're also more to the inside in the body cavity. So the veins cover up the renal arteries.
For instance.
Carry on.
Okay. That's about what this looks like, is carrion. Okay, let's move the little poop out of the way. All right, so this is going to be the descending aorta.
That's how I use my palms.
You can see right here, this is the descending aorta also. You can see it branching over here. This branch is probably going to go, this is the superior mesentery one, and then the inferior one is going to be down here. We've probably cut that one off, so we're not able to see it any longer. The other ones, it's very hard to see them because all of the liver is in the way.
Darn liver.
Darn liver! The liver has many, many functions. Yeah, I did. I popped that spleen right out of place. So you can see that this is one of the arteries that's leading here. Yeah. Isn't that neat? Okay, let's see if we can cut through. There we go. There's plenty of other rats in the sea.
Sea rats.
That's right. Okay, no, I don't see anything else that's going to be able to help us. We can see that there's artery there, but that's about the only thing else we can see, but without destroying the rat. So best thing we could do there is look at a display of a rat on a website in order to look at it. And you can see that the more that we play with the rat, the more that we are destroying the diaphragm. And in a rat that's been dissected and put back and taken out semester after semester after semester, like the rat that I was playing with when I was over in the science building, there's hardly a diaphragm left. We have just a little tiny piece of it over here. This little pitiful thing is the diaphragm. But you can still see on this one that you can see this is going to be the inferior vena cava, and it's going through the diaphragm right here. And you can probably see, because this is a little bit farther apart, you might be able to see if all this blue wasn't in the way. This is the esophagus right over here. And if we had the blue out of the way, we might be able to also see the esophagus as it goes through here. But I don't see it. Too much blue. We've been overcome with blue. Okay. Anything else? Do what? Oh, the gonadal vein is right here. It's very prominent on this rat right there. And that's just going to lead to the reproductive organs. On the female, I don't know whether it's going to be as evident. Yeah, you can see that there are gonadal... Well, it's all the veins that are in here. These are all gonadal veins right here, the ones that are leading to the little baby parts. And here's part of it right here. Okay? Good. Anything else we missed? Okay. All right.
That's fun.
Class dismissed.
It looks like it. Real quick.
Okay.
So we can see this one to see because I don't think it's test. I think both his testicles got. How would you like cut into this? 'Cause I have
You would take the scissors like this and cut right down the center like you did for the top part of the rat. And just cut it like this. And yeah, it doesn't look like he has anything in there. Yeah.
doesn't.
There we go. They're more toward the back.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, this one dropped, and you can see it. Yeah, while all the questions are asked. Any questions? Yeah, so both of those have descended. You can see the other one over there, too. And you can...
What are those?
These are the testes.
Right now we're in the ball sack.
Yeah.
About to see the testes.
There you go.
We watched it.
What's the name of the arteries?
It's a good thing we don't have
Good? I know. Oh, they writhe in pain when they see this. Okay.
Mr. Proctor was amazed.
Yeah, he was.
He was like, do you see the size of those? It looks broken.
Yeah, it does. So this part right here is the testis. This little part here that's discolored is the epididymis. And the epididymis with this one, when it goes up, that's going to be, and you can play with it and cut through it, but that's going to be where the vas deferens is.
Right. This little sack is covering
Yes,
it.
right there, and you can see the vas deferens.
So if
when
we
you
take off the sack.
Yep, you should be able to find it.
4 days.
Yeah, here we are, females. No, not a big deal.
Whenever I did the female, it wasn't that bad. Whoa, what's that?
Yeah, take the scissors and move up a little bit.
I'll leave you to your own cognizance. You don't recognize anything.
Emily, are you gonna be sweet and put this on Facebook? Yeah. Thank you. What's that white thing?
That's part of the epididymis. Thank you. Sometimes I have the wrong